And we're back with the 9211 Squalo from Beretta, or 92XI. On my first review, I was a little hard on it. I had some things I didn't love about it. But we're going to double down today. And we're going to talk about what a failure I think this gun was. And of course, this is my opinion. I'm not an expert. I'm just a guy who shoots guns a lot. And personally, I am very disappointed with this Beretta. I only had a few hundred rounds through it before I did my first review. I didn't love it, but I was fighting to grab onto something, and I kept shooting it, and it only got worse. The more I shot it, the more I found things I didn't like about it. So let's start this review with my favorite thing about it. The magazine. Inserting the magazine into this gun is the most satisfying, friction-free, like the mags just go right in. It is amazing. It slides in. It is the most satisfying feeling gun I own to insert a mag in. Other than that, it's pretty. And that is all it has going for it. So starting at the back, you have your frame-mounted safety, which is something that a lot of people have been asking Beretta to do for a long time. A single action only frame-mounted safety Beretta. So the safety is too high. So to ride the safety like you would a 1911, you have a 1911 grip angle, single action only thumb safety. You hold it like a 1911. You ride the safety, it's way too high, that's way too uncomfortable. And right here, the grip and the safety itself digs into the bottom of your hand right here. And it bites you pretty good. So that forces you to run below the safety and move the gun higher in your hand. So you have so you're moving your hand down, which is the opposite of what you want to do. So now your hand's down. It's biting you on top of your thumb now, hitting you in the knuckle or right in here in the meat of your hand. You get pinched in there. This edge gets you. It's really uncomfortable to shoot, and the only way around it is to move the gun up, which this gun is already too light in my opinion and has too much recoil for a competition gun. So the way that you can fight that recoil is getting really high on the gun, and the safety does not allow you to get high enough on the gun. You actually are too low. You can get higher on a standard one than you can on this one. Next, our magazine release. Again, really good idea. It is adjustable, but it sticks out too far in my opinion, and there's way too much room here. So your support hand, so now your thumb's getting bit. You put your support hand on, and that safety is literally digging into your palm right here and just hooking in almost. And if you move it down, it's uncomfortable to reach and it runs into your fingers. If you move it up, the digging only gets worse. So this kind of area is the easiest to reach and the least amount of digging that I found, which is pretty close to the stock area. So that is terrible that grabs into your hand the way it does. The little tiny thumb rest, takedown lever, I mean, yeah, it's there, it helps, but again, you have a super sharp corner here, not the best. The trigger, I find it to be very unpredictable almost. It's a lot heavier than you think it is. When you sit here and play with it, you're like, oh, that's a light, nice trigger, not a lot of travel. And then you actually go shoot it, and you're holding your gun, and more pressure, 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 and there it goes. And I feel like it causes me to anticipate it more than other. Yeah, it's a real short trigger, real short reset, You know, you can rapid fire the hell out of this thing, but actually getting a solid, you know, it's really hard to get a smooth trigger pull out of it. You know, my A3 with the double single in single action, I mean, yeah, you have all that extra travel, but this trigger is at least 2 pounds lighter. It has to be, just from feeling them, you know, on the range. You know, sitting here and playing with them, this one feels better. You go out on the range, and this one, I mean, you have no idea when it's going to go off. It's just so, it feels heavier than it actually is. And I think part of it is just that there's no travel. You don't have a lot of leverage on it because it's just, there's just nothing. You're just pulling against, you have no sense of when it's going to break until it does. And then, so while you're fighting that aspect of the trigger, every single shot, it's biting into your thumb and it's biting into your palm on your support hand. So every shot, you're adjusting your grip, or I am anyways. I'm adjusting my grip every single shot. I'm loosening up to see if it doesn't bite me, and then I'm fighting excessive recoil. I'm tightening up to fight that recoil, and then I'm getting bit. And then I also at the same time have to focus on that trigger pull, and I'm just throwing shots left and right, and I can't hit anything with it. And I'm very disappointed. As a really big fan of Beretta and the stuff they did, everything on this gun that they did just feels like an afterthought. Like, let's just slap a extended mag release on. Let's just slap a thumb safety on. The thumb safety is the biggest one that gets me, because I don't know how big those Italians' hands are. I don't have huge hands, but I can't stand this thing. And, you know, the recoil, it's aggressive. The recoil is more than, you know, my little carry gun, my little P01 shoots considerably smoother with less felt recoil. The A3 considerably smoother with less felt recoil, partially because you can actually get your hand high enough. You know, you can get a good grip and get up high on the gun, even though it's the same gun, but that safety forces your hand down where you feel more recoil. So I think, you know, as much as we all dreamed of this, you know, as we all dreamed of a Beretta with this, and looking back, they had it right the first time. And I stand by that. You know, this is my opinion. I can't, I paid over $1,300 for this gun. And, you know, when I go and shoot my CZs, when I practice for my competition with my CZ, you know, this one or my TSO, you know, there's basically no recoil, you know, but that's part of CZ's design with their internal slide rails. You know, they're very low recoiling. The gun is the proper weight. The trigger feels way better, way more predictable. My groups with the CZs are great. Even my P01 shoots tighter groups than this. I'm just all over the board shooting this gun. And my Beretta, you know, I shoot this gun really accurately. And I did change with the bigger grip on this Beretta to kind of match that CZ grip angle, just because that's what I'm used to. But I shot this gun great when I didn't have this on here, and I was just running the straight back with the side panels only. So I don't know how to make this gun not hurt me, because I don't, as far as I know, there's no aftermarket safeties available. I can swap this out for a standard magazine release. I don't know what to do with it. Like, the gun is really cool. It's everything I wanted. It looks badass, and there's the key. It is everything I thought I wanted. And then the way it was given to me and given to us, Beretta did us dirty with this one. You know, I'm just disappointed. And I like it so much. Like, I don't want to get rid of it, but, for how much you spend on one of these things, like I'm going to sell it. And I don't like selling guns, but I have no desire to keep putting rounds through this gun and keep getting bit by the issues that it has and try to fight through trying to shoot this gun consistently and get accurate enough to where I would want to actually go and take it to a competition. I don't know how many rounds I need to put through this gun before I get to a point where I'm used to how this trigger feels and I can get over my hands being destroyed by shooting it. And I don't have the time or want to even experience, to get to that point. You shouldn't have to fight so many issues with a gun to get to a point where you can actually go enjoy it. So, thanks for listening to my rant. Let me know what you think in the comments about the 92XI, series as a whole with the slide mounted safety and the Squalo.